And it is a very special holiday edition of Comics Should Smell Good, clearly notated by the snapback Santa hat.
That's how you can tell,
I mean,
obviously.
It's clearly Christmas time, because when else when this get pulled out?
We are festive as heck here at Zanadu Comics.
That's right.
And to start out the festivities, we're going to bring you something from somewhere where Christmas does not exist, as a matter of fact. Maybe we could enrich them culturally by sending out ships filled with Earth people, bringing the holidays to space. But we'll have to settle for bringing rings to space in Star Trek Green Lantern 2, Stranger Worlds. This is the second crossover between DC and IDW's Green Lantern and Star Trek lines. This is the movie version of Star Trek with, Chris Pine, Zachary Quinto, Anton Yelkin, rest in peace. They're meeting the Sinestro Corps for the first time. I assume it's the first time, because, he's on the cover. I figure if he was a part of it in the last series, they wouldn't really make a big deal out of it.
No.
I don't know. I think a lot happened in the last series. They just threw rings around like it was nothing.
They did.
And apparently there's still more people to give rings to, though, because we have a whole new series here.
Yes. And a huge book from DC this week. You might have seen that annoying ad in all the DC comics last week that made it look like your comics were actually bigger than they were. Justice League Suicide Squad, #1. Justice League versus Suicide Squad, because nobody gets along in comic books. There's no talking your problems out or anything. No. Even Superman punches people in the face when they give him too much crap. Joshua Williamson, the writer of Nailbiter, and the guy who's been helming The Flash, which has been very popular, teams up with Jason Fabok to bring you what I guess is now DC's premier super team? Suicide Squad?
Well, considering the main Justice League book has nothing to do with anything,
right?
I would say yeah.
Yeah. But this is some serious old school action. We're talking no ankles, lots of rock, mistiness, and people standing there looking really hard, ready to beat the crap out of each other. You've also got the introduction of one of my favorite, I don't know if you call him villains, because, he's kind of villainous, and he's
a villain these days.
I suppose he's a villain these days.
He's a bit of a tweener, if to use wrestling terms.
Sure, yeah. But he's returning, which is really, really cool. And he's pulled together, again, no spoilers, because you probably already looked at that ad, a new team of very mean, surly-looking villains from the DC Universe to take on one of the center points of the espionage world of the DC Universe, the Wall.
Yeah. You can really tell that Jeff Johns handpicked the team of villains, because they are straight out of his fantasy fiction.
Right. You can't do a Legion book, so...
Can't do one yet.
No, not yet.
And over at Marvel, I've got more spacefaring adventures here.
There's a lot of space books this week.
Right? With a 1-2 punch of Guardians of the Galaxy solo titles. First of all, we've got Gamora by writer Nicole Perlman, who penned the original draft for the Guardians movie that really launched this whole big wave of Guardian title after Guardian title. That's being drawn by Marco Cicchetto, who's one of my favorite artists that Marvel has in their stable.
Yeah.
He's been bouncing around from Punisher books and Spider-Man titles and stuff like that. Yeah, typically more street-level stuff. So it'll be really cool to see him do more sci-fi stuff like he did on the Anakin and Obi-Wan series.
Oh, he did that too, didn't he?
Yeah. And then over on the grounded side of things, tying into Brian Bendis' storyline in the main Guardians title, is Star-Lord #1. This is written by Chip Zdarsky of various titles fame. He was on Howard the Duck, he drew Sex Criminals, he was the the writer on Kaptara, all kinds of hilarious stuff. He's bringing his sense of humor to Peter Quill, who's being drawn by Chris Anka, the master of abs. Apparently. I used to think he was the guy that redesigned everyone's costumes, but I think people like him for his abs more these days. At least that's what the kids are telling me.
That's right. Those kids on the internet. You can't trust them. Speaking of more spacefaring adventure, Divinity #3, the Stalinverse is here. From Valiant Comics, this has been a really cool, not even crossover, little event comic that has been building upon itself, telling the story of Cold War superheroes, massive power, and the responsibility that comes with it. This one sees the reveal of the USSR Bloodshot. yeah, this dude is really amazing. But yeah, Matt Kent, Trevor Hairsine, Ryan Wynn, and David Barron are bringing you yet another fantastic, small but very action-packed event from Valiant. And this one features, along with all the other Valiant books, the cat cosplay cover, which I gotta say, a cat in a Russian spacesuit.
Oh my god, they went full spacesuit
They
on it?
went full spacesuit. We're not even talking CG or any, I mean, no Photoshop. We're talking that poor cat is in a spacesuit. It didn't get paid. Anyway, but yeah, really excited for this.
And something that I was not super excited for on any basis other than the art, until last week's, maybe 2 weeks ago's issue, the Clone Conspiracy has a new chapter, this time in Amazing Spider-Man number 22. The big reveal of the man behind the Jackal's mask came out, and it is surprising everybody, because we thought this guy would never show up again, Ben Reilly. Whoa. Yeah, dude got shanked by a goblin glider like 20 years ago, and he's actually been dead for that entire time. But no, Dan Slott had to go up and dig up something else to piss off Spider-Man fans, except for me, because I love it, because, oh my god, my guy Ben is back in a comic for once.
Right.
This shows more of his motivations towards becoming the new Jackal, how he escaped from Miles Warren's grasps to helm the New You program that is resurrecting loved ones across the Spider-Man universe.
Ooh.
With very sinister side effects.
That sounds very devious. I'm telling you, Dan Slott, he must sit awake at night and be like, oh, that'll piss him off. Oh, we gotta do this. He calls up Tom Brevoort.
Yeah, right.
Also from Marvel, a bit more close to home, down on the street level, and a great Happy Holiday edition of Power Man and Iron Fist. That's right, they even got the cool fist bump with the nice mitts going on. Yeah.
Look at that.
David Walker, who's been writing the main series, and badass artist Scott Hepburn, who was doing the great Drax book that nobody really read, unfortunately.
That kind of dropped off the face of the earth.
That did kind of drop off the face of the earth. But bring you the story of Danny and Luke at Christmas time here as they battle... Who else? The Krampus. Get a little help from Santa. Try not to piss off Jessica too much. Make sure you get the baby what they want, or what he wants. And for God's sakes, Danny, just keep your mouth shut, or else things are just gonna get into trouble. But oh, dude, it's the son of Satan. What else can you ask for in a Christmas comic but the son of Satan?
No.
I don't know.
Two sons of Satan?
Two sons of Satan, I guess.
Satana?
But yeah, lots of guest stars in this. Looks really fun.
I got another new series here, this time from Dark Horse, from John Arcudi, the man who's been writing BPRD longer than Mike Mignola ever did. And artist Tony Fejula, who drew Veil with Greg Rucka a year or two ago.
Yeah.
Bring you Dead Inside, following the exploits of a special crimes unit devoted to solving murders, stabbings, beatings inside of prisons. Apparently, this is going to lead to some deeper discoveries about the investigators themselves and why they do their jobs, because it always does, of course. But the point is, this book has amazing atmospheric art by Tony Fejula. I've never really seen anything like his work. Veil kind of blew my mind, honestly, and this looks to be just as good.
And John Arcudi is awesome. Always weird and sometimes very unexpected.
He's also writing the severely underrated Rumble still.
With James Herring, my God. I am so excited for this next book. Not cheerful in any way. For those of you looking for the darker side of the holiday time, if you really want to feel, unsettled and kind of scared and just generally not okay, we bring you Tomi by Junji Ito. You might have heard about us talk about Junji Ito a few other times. This is seriously mind-warping horror in the greatest way. Junji Ito is a freaking master of what he does. And this is the story of Tomi, a girl who can seduce any man and drive them to murder, though usually the victim is herself. But she's always reborn to continue the horrible cycle of violence again, and until this time, one lover seeks to free her from her curse, I guess, and the other tries to keep her for himself. It doesn't end well for either of them, especially not Tomy. But this is the complete edition, out of print for 5, 6, 7 years now since Dark Horse put out the Museum of Horror. But $35, completely redone in the correct right-to-left format. It's amazing. I am so excited.
Yeah, Junji Ito is one of those creators who, as soon as you think you know how it's going to be weird and messed up, he just flips it again and blows your mind in a whole new, completely horrifying way.
It's so good.
And my final book here is decidedly holiday themed.
Extremely.
Grant Morrison and Dan Mora, in record time, turn around a sequel to their hit miniseries Klaus with The Witch of Winter.
Dun, dun, dun.
I have no idea what this is about specifically, but I'm sure it'll involve a young Santa Claus beating the crap out of a witch and some magical cronies, so who doesn't love to see that?
Dude, Dan Mora is, I mean, he did some great wrestling art for the WWE book that came out.
Yeah, he managed to make me like The Shield, and I hate those guys.
And my final book, another manga, Blame, Volume 2, Tsutomu Nihei. I talked about this last month when it came out. I'm talking about it again. This is one of the premier cyberpunk biopunk comics to exist. No, I can't tell you what it's about, but that's okay. This volume sees Killy. Yes, the main character's name is Killy, and carries a gun that will put holes in the moon. All right, as he and the strange girl Chibo search for the net terminal genes in the vast, vast future of the world, where these builder machines have gone way overboard and have covered the entire surface of the planet with these crazy biotech nanomachine things that are constantly breaking down, so they're constantly having to fix them, and you have all these kind of strange cyberpunk vampire things killing anything that they get in their way. Huge size. There's also some giant kaiju monsters in this one. They're really big. Like, I'm talking like not even like Galactus bigger than big. But yeah, if there's a cyberpunk on your Christmas list, then this is it.
Casey, I did not understand a single word you just said.
I know, neither did I. Didn't it sound great? Yeah. Anyway, that's usually how it goes here. Comics should smell good. A big thank you to everybody who has supported us this year, who supported us through the GoFundMe stuff. We will certainly be here as long as we can, and we hope to wish you a very merry holiday for you and yours. And there is the one Wednesday here before the holiday, so come in, get your comics. You know you need your fix for this weekend. See y'all.
That's all I got. Merry Christmas.